Hi guys, HikVision here. In today's video I'm going to be giving you some advice on what to be asking when getting a CCTV quotation. Do not be afraid to ask questions and ask some more questions after that. At the end of the day, you're paying for a service and you want to make sure everything is done to standard. There are lots of companies that are not bothered about what you want and will do things however they like. Asking questions is just a great way to determine how competent a company is. So first off, let's ask what type of system is it. We've got standard analog, otherwise known as HD TVI systems, which is run over coaxial or Shogun cabling. We've got power over coax systems, POC. We've got analog over Cat5 using balance, and finally IP, which uses power over Ethernet. You're going to want to ask what cabling is being used. Shogun coaxial is used for older generation analog systems, although it can still be used for modern day HD TVI systems. It has two cores, which are one coaxial for video and the other for your DC 12 volt power. We've then got single coax, which is used for the newly released power over coax POC systems, but can also be used for HD TVI if you've got a power supply local to the camera. So power over coax transmits your analog data signal and power for the camera over the single coaxial core. I'd say this solution is most beneficial if you want to upgrade an older system but don't want the hassle of changing all of the cabling. We've then got Cat5 and Cat6 Ethernet cabling, which is mostly used for IP based systems, although it can still be used for HD TVI if you're going to be using balance on each end. For IP systems, it is simply plug and play. IP cameras use power over Ethernet, so they take power directly from your POE NVR or POE switch. If your cabling is going to be run externally, make sure you are using external grade Cat5 or 6. Normal Ethernet is not rated for outdoor use, and with weathering will eventually deteriorate and crack, causing a break. If your Ethernet is being run in an area with lots of electrical cabling, you may want to consider using shielded Ethernet. This has a foil sheath around the cable, blocking out any electrical interference caused by the electrical wiring, which could distort the signal. Next up, what brand cameras and NVR or DVR do you use? HikVision is the current international market leader for surveillance solutions, and is a brand that we've been using for many years, and so highly recommend as being the best quality, value for money, along with best product features. Other high-end brands on the market are Axis, another contender. We do not recommend Swan, Sanace, Yale or other similar brands. These tend to be cheaply made and of poor quality. Despite this, you will likely find them in mainstream shops such as Screwfix, B&Q and Costco. However, don't be fooled. They can actually be very highly priced or even on a so-called special deal, and you get very poor quality for your money. If you're going to buy a product yourself, we'd recommend a traded distributor, which you can also buy from with a cash account if you're a non-trade, although you may not get the maximum trade discount like we do, but it'll still be a lot cheaper than most other places. See how much the security company are quoting you for your products, and if you think they're taking the mickey, we recommend getting a price from ADI Global Distribution. You can find your nearest branch at the link above. Simply give them a call and ask for a quote. All of the item product codes will be in the description. Next up, what brand and size hard drive will you fit in my NVR? Now this all depends on how many weeks of footage you want to record. Systems tend to record 24/7, and you have your motion detection alerts on top of that so that you never miss a thing. Ask the company how many weeks you should get. This is dependent on how many cameras you have on the system along with what resolution they are. Most commonly, 1 to 2 TB hard drives are installed. For 2 camera 4 megapixel systems, 1 TB will equate to around 3 to 4 weeks worth of footage. For 4 camera systems, around 1 to 2 weeks. Ask to make sure it is a surveillance hard drive that will be fitted. Any other hard drive will fail within months, if not weeks, as they are not designed for constant operation like surveillance hard drives are. We recommend Seagate Skyhawk or WD Purple hard drives. For how to install a hard drive and further information, see the video link above. Next up, are the cameras 24/7 colour or black and white at night time? Most cameras use infrared night vision for nighttime viewing, however we find this to be poor quality. Black and white images just don't cut it nowadays. HikVision and other brands have recently released colour view technology, which allows you to see in full colour in pitch black environments. You can see the finest of details, including what colour a vehicle is, what colour clothing a person's wearing, etc, etc. We highly recommend you get a colour view based system as opposed to normal black and white. The only thing to bear in mind is, however, if the ambient light level is too low, i.e. it is literally pitch black, the colour view camera will automatically turn on a small warm white light on to evade with visibility. Some people will find this annoying as it can be rather bright. If you've got fairly decent street lighting, however, the camera will not need any additional lighting and the light will stay off. You can also alter the brightness of this light on the camera settings, so you can manually override its brightness. To see how to do this, click on the link above. However, if you are going to opt for a black and white, make sure the night vision range is sufficient for your requirements. For most households, 20 to 40 metre night vision is perfectly okay. For commercial, at least 40 to 100 metre, but of course this is all dependent on the premises itself and would be determined on a site survey. Next up, do you get accurate motion detection alerts with this system? Motion detection is one of the main reasons we buy CCTV systems. You want to be accurately notified when somebody is on your property. An awful lot of systems fail to do this and will trigger at literally everything, which basically renders motion detection pointless, as you won't bother checking the hundreds of notifications you get, as you'll just disregard them as being a nuisance trigger, such as leaves blowing or the neighbour's cat. This is where modern technology comes into play. HikVision have released what's called AcuSense technology, which is only available on IP cameras unless you have an AcuSense DVR or NVR. What AcuSense does is it differentiates between different target types, so you can select what you want to trigger. You can choose between humans and vehicles or both. This will filter out next to all of the false positive alerts that would normally trigger your detection. Without AcuSense, you would find leaves, wind, branches, cats, squirrels, birds, to name a few, would trigger. When set up correctly, you should get no false positive alerts. If you want to see how to set up motion detection properly on HikVision systems, click the link above. Next up, where would you mount the camera? Cameras can be mounted anywhere you like. Lots of companies will throw the cameras wherever it is easiest for them, without taking into consideration your specific requirements. If you want a general overview of your property but aren't too fussed about details such as faces, then mounting the camera to a soffit is the best place for a more bird's eye view overlooking the entire area. However, at this height you're going to struggle to see people's faces, especially at night time when visibility is poor and someone has got their hood up. The benefit of going on the soffit is the neatness of the install. The cabling can go directly into the soffit, into the loft. If you prefer more details, we recommend you put your camera at around 4 metre high from the ground, so A, it can't be tampered with, and it's looking directly at people's faces. When mounting to the brick, there has to be room for the cable connection. In some cases you can hide this inside the camera. Sometimes you'll need to use a junction box next to the camera, although this looks messy. The better option is to use an integrated back box for the camera, so the camera sits on the box itself and the connection is housed correctly. You can also have the cables hidden in the wall cavity and fed directly into the loft this way. Now moving on to how will the cables be disguised. If your cameras are mounted to your soffits, the cabling can go directly into your loft. At some point you may need to bring all of the cables down the external wall of the property. Always make sure to use 20mm black or white PVC conduit. This creates a much neater, more durable finish and is a lot safer than just pinning the cables to the wall, which can easily be snipped, let alone looking incredibly messy. What you'll also find is cable clips will likely fall out over time, or the cable might just sag, creating an unsightly look. Now, an important one to ask: how will the system connect to the internet? Depending on your chosen NVR location, this could be anywhere. It could be next to your router for easy internet access, or it could be put up into the loft. Wherever it is, you need to consider internet access. A hardwired cable from your router to your NVR or DVR is always the best solution for a solid connection. However, in some cases not everyone is able to run a cable, or would prefer not to have a cable as it would be unsightly. In this case, you can use what's called an Internet Powerline adapter. We use TP-Link adapters. The link to this will be in the description. You get two adapters. One of them plugs into your wall socket next to your router. From that adapter, you will then plug an Ethernet cable that goes to your router. Your other adapter will plug into a wall socket next to your DVR or NVR, and again, from that, an Ethernet cable to your NVR. The power lines will then transmit the internet data over your 240 volt electrical wiring in your property, not wirelessly. These are a great solution and work flawlessly 95% of the time, but you must ensure the adapter is plugged directly into a wall socket, not into an extension lead or multi-plug, as these cause electrical noise interference, which can massively affect the performance. These can also be used on outbuildings. For example, if your house has got a separate garage, simply plug one of these into your router, one into the garage, and this will give you a wired connection. However, with every install, where possible, do run a hard wired cable. So, what system is best for me? It all boils down to your budget, and if you've got any existing cabling in situ, and what quality system you are after. If you're on a tighter budget, we recommend going with a HD TVI analog system, but using a Cat5 or Cat6 cabling as opposed to coaxial cabling. The only reason for this is you are future-proofing your system. If in the future you want to take the leap to an IP-based system, you can simply reuse your Cat5 or 6 cable, whereas if you put old coaxial cabling in, you would then have to change all of the cable all over again. Companies should not be charging you any extra between coax and Cat5. There may be a charge for shielded and armoured cabling. We always recommend the colour view cameras. Do not settle for normal black and white cameras. The HikVision analog colour view cameras come in 2 megapixel and 5 megapixel resolution. Try and opt for the 5 megapixel option. They provide you with a much more crisp image. Also ask for a 2.8mm lens on the camera. This is the widest angle camera so that you get a nice wide viewing angle. If you want slightly more accurate motion detection, ask for a AcuSense based DVR or go to the Dira IP system. If you want to splash out a bit more, which we would recommend doing as you can't put a price on security, go for an IB based system. Again, HikVision Colour View. In IP, they come in 4 megapixel and 8 megapixel. 4 megapixel is the most common and is perfectly clear. Don't be put off by the fact that the analog colour view comes in a 5 meg, as they are literally no different at all. Overall, the IP camera is the better camera. The IP colour views also come with a built-in microphone so that you can hear everything that people are saying. Also make sure that it is the AcuSense variant so that you get the accurate motion intrusion detection. Not all IP cameras come with AcuSense, so just make sure that yours does. IP cameras are not only the future-proofed solution, but will also last a lot longer as they're more well built. They have a weatherproof connection, whereas analog systems may experience on-screen interference as connectors tend to rust and fail with time. All of the system product codes will be in the description below. I'll be listing the analog and IP colour view codes, the DVRs, the NVRs. If you want any further advice, just drop me a comment down below and I'll happily help. Remember to like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Take care guys, bye bye.